Hello again, good people of the universe, and I am here for my long-awaited Charlotte video. Because, oh dear, did I not have the motivation to cover this character, because she is not interesting to me at all, but after some thinking, I've decided that it might be good for me to cover this character anyway, because she is part of a bigger issue, and that is that Cryo is not in a good state. If you want some more elaboration, you're going to have to stick through me explaining Charlotte's kit, because that's what I'll be doing first. Now let's start things off with her normal attack. It's useless. You're not going to use this ever. Like, there's no real situation where you want to use a Cryo driver. So, yeah, you're not using this. As for her elemental skill, you will go into an aiming mode, much like Nahida, and mark enemies. Again, much like Nahida, and they will take cryo damage once every 1.5 seconds. Not so much like Nahida, but still, it's pretty damn similar to Nahida. If you want to unleash the full potential of this skill, you're gonna have to wait for it to fully charge, which means, woo, more field time, yay, lowering your DPS, that's awesome. I love that about her. And then there's her ultimate, which will just do a fuck ton of healing and leave a field, which will do some more healing. This field's going to last about 4 seconds, so it's not really that good in the application department, but that is literally the purpose of her elemental skill. Her Ascension passives are as follows. Her first Ascension passive will reduce her ease cooldown whenever an enemy with the mark dies, which will come in handy because the cooldown of her skill, if you do get the fully charged thingy, is 18 seconds, which is, you know, pretty damn fucking long. As for Ascension 4, it will just increase her healing bonus or cryo damage bonus based on where her party members are from, giving you healing bonus if they're from Fontaine, and cryo damage if they are not. Now let's go through her constellations. Her C1 is just gonna, you know, heal a character whenever her ult heals your character, so just some more unnecessary healing, because the initial tick of her burst is already enough to even compensate for Farina's HP drain. And then her C2, when you mark enemies with her skill, you're just going to be increasing your own attack, but up to 30%, which means more healing, wow. Her C4 is going to be increasing the damage of her skill, and then, you know, give energy for up to 5 times every 20 seconds. With her elemental burst. Now, this is pretty decent constellation, because according to my calculations, it reduces your energy recharge requirements by about 25%, so that's neat, but it's not all that good. And then for her C6, when the active character does a normal charge attack, and you hit an enemy marked by her elemental skill, Charlotte is going to do a little bit of a follow-up attack, which will, again, heal you. So, you can tell, this damn character does a lot of healing. And I think this is where the issue stems with Charlotte. She is entirely meant to be a healer that has really nothing else in her kit. So, yeah, you can use her with Farina, but anyone who has a Jean or a Baizu, they're just gonna outperform Charlotte in most teams, which is a damn shame. And then the next thing, which is why I think Jean and Baizu are going to outperform her in every team with Farina in it, is because she's Cryo. And Cryo reactions are not that good, and Cryo is just overall in a bad state in my opinion. Freeze is the most popular Cryo team, and if you look at the most popular Freeze team, damn, that's a lot of fucking 5 stars. So, what if I gave you a better AoE team that also uses less 5 stars? Yeah, that's just international. Oh, so you're fine with the amount of 5 stars Freeze has? Cool. What if I showed you an AoE team that just does way more fucking damage? Oh, right. There's Nilu Bloom. Sick. So there's literally no reason to use Freeze other than you're bad at the game. Cool. Awesome. How about Melt, though? Isn't Melt teams a thing? Well, there's Melganyu, but the energy recharge is just, quite the issue in that team. And that means that you're going to have a lot of downtime on your damage, and as we all know, having to funnel your units is a pain in the ass. Ayaka can also technically do melt, but it doesn't work with C6, and freeze is just so much better, because if you're not freezing the enemy, you're gonna miss all your fucking ult hits, unless you're fighting a boss. The only real good melt units right now are Rosaria, who, to be fair, is quite underrated, and Chongyun, who is also underrated, but they are not going to compare to, like, the best of teams, at least not in consistency. And Risley looks like a good melt unit, but he just doesn't have damage, and he's also single target, and I value single target a lot less than AoE. And, of course, there's one more archetype when it comes to cryo teams, which is, you know, mono cryo. But that's literally just freeze, but instead of bricking yourself against boss fights, you're bricking yourself in AoE, because it's just melt, but now you have a Shenhe with you instead of having the melt reaction. And when you are playing mono cryo, a lot of mobs will just get pushed back, so yeah, you're only really going to work against bosses. And, you know, it's not even possible if you don't have a fucking Shenhe. And, you know, that's a big fucking problem, because I feel like every cryo team just underperforms if you're not willing to go full investment into cryo. If you don't have a Shenhe, if you don't have a signature weapon on your Ayaka, and if you don't have a Kokomi, you're not going to be able to run a, like, good freeze team, like a really good freeze team. And you can't really do melt with Ganyu, because, well, first of all, it's really uncomfortable to play, and second of all, you're going to need to have a Zhongli, you're going to need to, you know, get the cryo swirl correctly with Kazuha, you know, the double swirl shit, and mono cryo is just melt, but you literally need to have Shenhe. So cryo teams are just way too limited, and they do not give enough output for the amount of investment you have to put into them. But what are your thoughts on the issue? Be sure to leave a comment down below, subscribe to my channel, maybe even leave a like if you're willing to be awesome like that. I have a big video in the works, should be coming out Friday if everything goes, you know, as planned. And until next time, peace.